Can hear you. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Kiran says no. And you are saying can't see me. Okay. Why is that so? Hmm, I should be visible. Is it okay now? Can you see me now? All right, no worries, but you can hear me. Hey, Akshay, hi. Thank you, thank you. All right, I believe some net issue maybe, but I hope it gets sorted. Okay, so welcome to another session. And in today's session, we are going to move to the next part of our resume building. In this section, we will write. In last section, we talked about the section of how do you write your contact header and how do you frame your section on education. Today, we will move to the next important sections, which are the, let me share my screen. We are going to talk about the experience section, that how do you craft your experience section, and we will be talking about that how do you write answers for your experience section. So let me know once my screen is visible. This needs to be shut down so that we are sorted. Okay. All right. So I hope my screen is visible. I need to say a yes in the chat window if you can see my screen. Screen. All right, great. So in the last section, we talked about the contact information, we talked about the professional summary, and we talked about the education background. In today's section, we are going to talk about the employment history, something related to your experiences, and also the other few sections which are there. So let's start with the employment section. So first and foremost, that many of you have earlier also asked me this question, that what all can be included in your experience section. So based on what kind of a candidate you are, whether you're a professional candidate or you're an entry level candidate, for the professional candidate, all your paid or unpaid work experience, any role that you have played in your student organizations, any of your internship experience, your volunteer experience, or your family business experience is going to become a part of your professional work experience. Okay. And if you are a candidate who is an entry level candidate, in that case, if you have any experiences which are paid work experiences or paid internships, which could be the part time work, paid temporary work, paid freelancing work, paid independent projects, all of these all of these are to be included in your work experience section. Okay, so whenever you come to me and you tell me that you do not have any experience, you just need to think over and see that why do you not have a work experience. You must have been part of any of the clubs at your college, you might have been part of any of the internships that you've done. So we always have a lot to add in our work experience section. So the first task to work out your work experience section is to find out all the things which are having an impact in terms of the work experience that you've done. Student organizations, if you're a student, just have a look at your 3 to 5 year journey of your graduation and post graduation, that how well have you been participating. So you're president of marketing club, vice president of sports club, etc., etc. Everything becomes part of work experience. But yet again, we are talking about building a resume, so we need to see what skill set are we matching from that work experience. Okay, we don't have to randomly put everything, we need to match our skill set with the work experience that we are trying to portray. Okay, so that is the most important aspect that we have to figure out. And Praveen, like I've already said, as a fresher, you need to make your resume look that you have the experience of executing things. Okay, so the projects that you do, the assignments, the internships, the virtual internships, any small things that you do. Because another question which many of you might have is, I don't have a certificate of couple of things, but I have done them. Should I add them to my resume or not? Well, yes, if they match the requirement of the job, if they help you present yourself better, you must add that, because that is the point. But again, it should be relevant and should match to the skill set that the company is looking forward to. So if you go by this concept, the chances of you being able to make a cut is much better. Number two, that Tanya is asking, as a freelancer, what projects should I showcase? I think, Tanya, for a freelancer, the game lies in the mind of the client. Okay, so as an employee, when I'm looking for a job, I'll see the need of the company. As a freelancer, I will see the need of the client, that what is that client all about. Go and see his profile, check him out, her out. What are the things that he's following up? What are these positive things that he's trying to achieve? What are the goals that he has? And then, according to that, you present yourself up so that you're able to get the desired results for the client. Okay, so we have understood that in order to build a portfolio for the employment thing, whether you're a fresher or you're an experienced candidate, try to put every single aspect which makes sense to the current opening in your resume. Add that. Number two, always add the relevant jobs. Okay, you do not have to add everything. Place your work experience section below the education section. If you're a fresher, then your education is of utmost importance. But if you're in your education also, you've done 2 to 4 internships which are relevant to that particular job that you're applying for, you can choose to put your internship in the experience section and put it above. But usually the thumb rule is that if you're a fresher, you put your education and then you put down your work experience. That we also saw in the ZT templates that we checked last time. Okay, similarly, always start with your most recent position. We follow a reverse chronological order like we do in the education. Okay, and when you're mentioning your work experience, you do not have to just write 2 3 lines. Imagine I have to flaunt everything that I did. So what will I write? I'll write my title, that at what position was I working. Even if I was an intern, what was the position, the duration, 1 month, 1 week, 3 weeks, doesn't matter. 15 days, doesn't matter. If you have learned the skill, if you can prove what you have learned, nothing like it. Okay, then full name of your company with location, because you need to respect the organization with whom you've worked. You've got that chance, so you need to mention that. And then you add the 5 to 6 bullet points that you have worked around in that organization. Again, we follow the power words, we follow the keywords, and we add quantifiable achievements. Okay, you need to add the quantifiable achievements and add accomplishments to show what have you achieved. Now, when you're writing your employment history, every time, whether it's an internship or whether it's any form of internship that you're mentioning, freelancing work, project, anything, try to use numbers, highlight your accomplishments, use appropriate power words, and make sure that you are repeating the keywords that are present in the job description. Okay, so now I'm also going to once again share my screen and explain this concept with the help of a example. Okay, and then I'll take a couple of questions on this as well, so don't worry about that. So have a look at this. So let's say you're a software programmer, okay, and you've worked with TCS Mumbai and you've worked for long 8 years. So now this is my designation, my company name, my location, my duration, and then I write down a couple of points. What did I write? Designed and developed over 7 application projects per year in Java and Spark. What have I done? Design and develop are what? These are my power words. 7 is quantifiable achievements. Java and Spark are my keywords. Then I write handled project management designing in cooperation with data analysis teams. So this shows my teamwork also. Then headed project meeting with technical staff members, business analysts, and external stakeholders, responsible for training and mentoring over 10 junior programmers and developers. Again, it's a quantifiable achievement. And I can also highlight one of my key achievements where I say developed a automation tool that reduced the testing time by 55%. So what are we doing? We are actually telling them that during this 8 years of my experience, I have done all these are the highlights, and we add value to it. Now, if let's come to a fresher experience that I was talking about, that you're a fresher. Okay, so as a fresher, you have, let's say, worked as a part of marketing team. Okay, so you might ask that what do I add in that now? So let's say in a marketing team, you were the president of marketing club for your college, and you helped in organizing a couple of fates or some functions at college level. So how will you write? First of all, you'll write your marketing club vice president, name of your college, etc., etc., and then you will again quantify organized 10 plus state level, national level, cluster level, whatever level you've worked at, meetings at college campus, motivated a team of 15 members to get a collaboration of top brands, like agar aapne koi collaborations kare hain, then you can add could by the teamwork, since you can, if you want to advertise teamwork, you can also say um, helped team in getting sponsorship over 10,000, 20,000, 1 lakh, whatever is the amount for XYZ, which is the name of the particular, some function that you've organized in your college. So when you add these numbers, it becomes more credible. Instead of saying, I have got a lot of sponsorships for my college, this has no relevance. When you add value to it, when you add numbers to it, that is the time the importance is going to develop more. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. All right. Okay, so now we have a question from Suhas. How do we include personal information such as interest and hobbies? We are going to talk about that, Suhas. The next section is on interest and hobbies only. The personal information, as in your contact information, is added always at the top, which is your contact information header that we had already talked about in the last session. Okay. Akshay is asking, if we work in different company and task was similar, so do I need to mention them under each organization? Akshay, in such cases, you remember the three types of resume we did. So if you are a person who's revolving career around 2, 3, 4 particular skills, you actually can opt for a skill-based resume. So it depends. It depends, because at times that does happen, that we are not able to, we have similar work across 10 different companies, but if you try to categorize them into 5 different skill set, you might get a better way of presenting yourself. So go and check how to build a skill based resume. Okay, that is another way of presenting yourself that might give you, a edge in presenting yourself better, because otherwise I understand that you will find your resume very repetitive, because if you've done the same kind of things, but still, even if you've done the same kind of things, your achievements, your quantitative achievements would never be different. Okay, they can't be same, they will always be different across different companies, so you can opt to add them every time. Okay, all right, so I hope that answers your question. So we go back to our mind map, and we are now going to move to the second part, or the last part of today's session, wherein we are going to talk about the few other skills which are non-work experience and how do you use references. Okay, so first of all, once we are planning about building a resume, like this is what we started with, you need to advertise your uniqueness. Okay, so try to mention the dates, do not repeat the information, which goes on to say that your name, your address, your phone number, such things should not be repetitive. You need to know if you have added them once they are added. If you have added your certification in your education, you should not mention it again in your certification column. Okay, it comes only once. We don't have to fill the resume. This is a very common mistake I see, that in education also we add the diploma, and then when there is another section of certifications, at times in few resumes we add that as well. So we try to, avoid that. That should not happen. Then include the points that are going to kick a conversation. What this means is that your resume should have the pointers through which you can drive the conversation of your resume. Okay, your interview, that if you can highlight, and always try to highlight your achievements in sports or other interests and activities. Now, when I say this, there are few things you have to be careful about. Number one is, include your abilities that are related to the job. I am a great singer. Does it matter a data analyst job? No. Okay. I'm an excellent cook. Does that matter? Can I relate it to any of the skill set? If you can think of a correlation, add it. Otherwise, if you do not find any similar complete correlation, avoid it. Okay, and try to categorize your skills in two forms that we commonly use: soft skills and hard skills. So that is going to help you in building or presenting yourself much better. Okay. And then it is very crucial to personalize your skill section according to the job description. Okay, so what I know is one part of the game. I'm good at, let's say, public speaking, but I cannot write that I'm good at public speaking in order to apply for a job of a mentor. A mentor is not supposed to be a public speaker. So the same public speaking thing has to be, say, like, I am a very empathetic communicator, I am good at listening. So the skill set is still the same, it's all the part of the same game, but the way you present it has to change. And that is why I say, every time you apply for a job, you choose a different resume, because the requirements of every single job are going to be different. Okay, then always try to group your skills under the relevant headings. Okay, for example, if you're trying to be, let's say, apply for a project management job or a data analytics or data science kind of a job, mention that what are the skill sets related to that particular job which you possess, which are usually the keywords of your job description. In project management, you will find project management and mentoring, team mentoring and management, global regulatory compliance, project scale up, project innovation, differentiation. Very commonly used terms you will find in project management openings. So you need to be careful about them and put them at the right place. Okay. And also, when you are dividing your key skills, try to do it on the basis of the industry, and on the basis of the industry, as in the industry norms, what are that they are following. Okay, so let me show this to you with the help of an example. It will give you a better picture. Let's say you are a IT professional. Okay, and you want to mention your skill set. So when we say IT professional, so a IT person has multiple ways of presenting the skill sets they have in terms of the technical skills. You have database different skill sets, you have different methodologies which you might know, you have knowledge of different operating systems that you might know, you have multiple languages that you might know the use of various tools. So the more you make it easier for them to grasp, number one, you will be more specific to the keywords, because nobody is going to write in the job description that they should have knowledge of computer science languages. No, they're going to write down C++, Java, knowledge of Spark, whatever they're mentioning. So you need to be specific. That adds value to your resume when it is being seen, and also it helps you in getting to the second level of getting it past the applicant tracking system, which is the biggest problem that we try to face. Okay, then are your references. So references are, number one, they should not be put on a resume until and unless you're being asked to put them. Okay, so your resume should never carry a reference. I see that as a very common mistake. We avoid that. There is no reference to be added in your resume, so you always use a separate page for your reference. Okay, so you put your name, you put your title, you put your references on the top of the page, and use a consistent format, and try to have at least 3 professional references. And always, before you choose somebody as your reference person, after even you use them, before sending across that piece of paper, please tell them that you have asked them to become a referrer for you. Okay, so that is something which is very crucial. Okay, so please do that. We should always respect others time and efforts as well. Okay, and we have a couple of questions. So Jay is asking, should I include my GP on resume? Well, Jay, we covered this in the last session. You can see the last session stream as well. We added, if you think it is going to add value, if they have asked as an eligibility criteria, at times the companies write 70% and above. So if you have it, you mention it, it helps you stand out. Otherwise, we can leave it as well. Okay. Yes, as a recent graduate, it is an important asset, but we have discussed a particular format, that how will you follow, what format you should follow in order to, write that particular education section. So please go and have a look on that. That is going to help you in understanding this a little better. Okay, we do not add just the random name of the college and the degree and the percentage. No, we say what we have learned, what other skill set did we have. Okay, so check that out, it'll help you. Akshay is asking, if you have time, please share skill based resume. Akshay, there are multiple formats. There's nothing right or wrong. Any format you find on, Zeti, Resume, Worded, you can take them as an understanding. But usually people use a skill-based resume when they're trying to change their industries. If you want to continue in the same industry, using the linear pattern is of more use. Okay, so first read a little more on skill-based resume before opting for it. I thought I should warn you. Okay. Yes, Tanya, a resume is supposed to be one page if you have less than 7 years of experience. If you have more than 7 years of experience, it might go up to 2 pages because a resume is not a CV. You can check out session number 1 that we did on resume, that will help you. Okay, so how do we proofread our resume for mistakes? Can you suggest any websites for proofreading? I think if you want, you can go for, I mean, I don't know any free websites, honestly, so I will not say, but I think there are multiple. I think Resume Worded itself gives you a lot of analysis of your resume. You just need to upload your resume and they give you a free analysis of, what is the structure like, have you used the right keywords. So just have a look at Resume Worded. Zeti has a paid version, it offers nothing for free. Resume Worded does offer it, so have a look at that. Yes, Shivansh, if you have strong profiles on Medium, on Quora, and you have strong profiles on LinkedIn and Instagram, you should opt for them. You have to add them. That will help you stand out. Okay. So, absolutely, that is something which will add more value to you. Definitely. Completely agree. Okay. All right. Great. Right. So, do we have any more questions? You can put them down in the chat window and I'll be taking it further from there because these were the two things I wanted to cover in today's session. It was a very quick and brief session. Never wanted to cover all of it in one because in the next session, now we are going to complete our resume by understanding the formatting guidelines. Okay. The margins and the font sizes and the font types, what are supposed to be used, tables to be added, how do you make a ATS resume, what are the do's and don'ts. So we are going to talk about that particular aspect. All right, excellent. Great. So do we have any more questions overall on the resume section? Let me quickly share my screen one more time to just give you an overview of what have we done in the resume section till now, so that it helps you. This is not the tab. Okay. There you go. Okay, so let me just quickly share my screen, a few couple of things for you to revise about. So we talked about there are 5 crucial aspects of your resume sections. First one is your contact information section. Then you have a professional summary of the objective career profile section. Then the educational background, the history, employment history, your experience section, employment history, they're both the same. And then add your skill section. You can add your hobbies depending on if you should add them or not. Okay, a fresher's resume can have hobbies, but a person which has even if only 1 year of experience, we do not usually add hobbies to it. Okay, so you may opt to add. There are multiple formats which allow you, but it is not mandatory. But these 5 aspects of the resume are very crucial to be added in order to make sure that it works in your favor. Okay, so make sure you add them, and you can check out the previous sections to get a little more clarity on what all we have discussed in the past about them. Okay, all right, so any more questions, anyone? All right, great. So we've no questions. Excellent. So if we have understood, what I want you to do is that before next time, try to go on Resume Worded, pick up your old resume and put it on Resume Worded and just see, okay, how well do you score? What is your current status like? Okay, you will get so much of clarity that your eyes would be wide open that how well or how poor you have been scoring on that. So Resume Worded, it gives you also the way to check your LinkedIn profile, and it also gives you the score of your resume, and it is AI powered. So if you have a job description in mind, it can actually help you in doing it. Let me just show the screen to you also. This one, this is for you to refer to. This will help you in understanding what it looks like. Okay, so you just have to choose whatever option you want. So let's say you start with the Resume Worded, so they'll ask you what level are you. Okay, so you choose your level and you upload your resume. So once you upload your resume, then it is going to show you your current, how well you are able to. So simply go to Google, type resume worded, and you'll be able to get an idea. This is how they tell you the score, that how impactful it was. They don't give you all the details because that's a paid service, but they still give you a lot of it for you to analyze. Okay. All right. Aryan, how should we rewrite resume for a career shift? Aryan, for a career shift, skill-based resumes are best. Read through them, and if you have any questions, we'll take them in the next session. I will try to cover some part of skill-based resume in a little more depth because two of you have asked, so we'll talk about that. Okay. And Tanya, for freelancers, usually we don't call them resumes; they are called portfolios. Okay, because for freelancers, you have a work to present. So a one-page resume will never be enough. Freelancers do not apply for usually job positions; they apply for projects. Okay, so look through that eye. That will give you a better clarity on the whole concept, right? So portfolios are very different. We are not talking about portfolios, right? All right. So somebody on LinkedIn is asking, can we interplace the position of education background and work ex? Yes, Yogesh, we use work education section above. Work experience will be above when you have a work experience, and education will be below. I have what? I have over 11 years of work ex. Okay. So for me, education is an important section, but it is not the most important section that has to be highlighted. Okay. Similarly, if I was a fresher, I only have education, which is my most strongest credential. In that case, that would be above and the other parts would be below. Okay, so I hope that answers your question and clarifies a doubt for a couple of others as well. All right, great. So thank you everyone for a quick session. I think I just tried to answer your more questions today and talked about work experience section and a little bit more about the resume audit site. Go and check it out. Upload your resume. You will find so much there that you will get a lot of more clarification. Okay, that's an excellent way of gauging your resume in terms of power words, in terms of the language that you are using. So it's going to be helpful. Try it out today. Okay, the first one is a free service. Go and check that out. All right, sure. So I hope you enjoyed the session, and I'm going to catch you in the next session. Thank you very much for joining in today. I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Have a good day. Take care. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed. Bye.